Should you have female friends? That's the topic today. I was thinking about this because recently I cut off a very prominent female friend. Somebody that I've actually had a huge connection with. I've technically known this girl for like over 10 years. You know, and yeah, I mean like, and I cut her off. I recently cut her off. hmm we haven't really known each other for the whole 10 years, but there was a big chunk of that 10 years that we didn't talk. But the past like 3 years have been like, and we've really been building that connection the past 3 years. And then I cut it off. Why? Because look at it this way: I'm a man who's on his journey of self improvement. Every day I'm trying to level up. Every day I'm trying to be better. And when you're in that mindset, you can't really have female friends that don't provide value to you and that are just draining your energy. So we all know a girl, we all have known a girl in our lives or even in other people's lives that is like always in a toxic relationship, is always complaining about this one guy. She's like complaining to everybody about this one guy. This guy who's just like a piece of shit, treats her like shit. And everybody in her friend group gives her advice. They give her advice. They're like, "Hey, like you should leave him. Like, hey, you should like just find somebody else." But no, she doesn't do that. She doesn't listen to all her friends. It could even be family members. She wouldn't listen. She doesn't listen to her family members. What she always does is go back to that guy. That guy who's treating her like crap. She always goes back to him because the thing is, so one thing about female nature is that they're only gonna listen to. There's a lot of times in certain times of their life, there's only certain men that they're gonna listen to. It's either men that they're in love with, crazy about, or somebody that they fear. You know, so it's like they're only gonna listen and take orders from that person. They're not gonna take orders from somebody else. It's only gonna be that person. So this is why I didn't just cut her off. I cut it off. I cut off all my female friends, and it's because of that reason. Because I'm I'm friend zoned by I was friend zoned by these girls, and I put myself in a position where I'm their emotional tampon, where I'm the one that's just listening to all their shit. And I can't. I'm not. They're not in my frame. Those girls are not in my frame. They're not crazy. They're crazy, but they like me. They appreciate my friendship and who I am, but they're not crazy about me. They're not obsessed with me. They're not. They're not essentially in my frame. You know. And because of that, all I can do is just hear them out. Just hear them out. That's all I can do. Just hear them out. Let them vent. And on a human level, that's good. That's good. You could be there for people. You'll be there for a woman. But at a certain point, you really gotta build some self respect. It's like a lot of these girls are gonna hit you up. They were hitting me up. They were like, "Hey, like, I want to hang out tonight. Like, let's." Essentially, this is what would happen. We would like hang out and spend like 6 hours together, drinking, talking the whole time. And essentially, it's just me listening because I can't really any advice that I would give them is wasted advice. A lot of times it was and is. So yeah, like if you're just and me on this journey of self improvement, that's tough. That's tough on my mindset. You know, not only am I kind of exhibiting a people pleasing behavior, and I'm kind of like lowering myself to like, oh, like let me lower, not really lowering myself, but I'm kind of like going against my values because I don't really like. That's just not a very healthy thing for me because the energy is just draining. She's just draining the energy for me. You know, I'm just an emotional tampon. That's essentially what I am. You know. But if she was in my frame, if she was in my frame, then I could really make an impact. I could really help her. But I'm not. She's in that man's frame. Whoever she's complaining about, she's in that man's frame. You know? Yeah. So it's like you really gotta look at all your female friendships and realize, am I getting value in this relationship, in this friendship? Or am I getting screwed over and that she's taking all the value from me? You know, I'm just being an emotional tampon, you know? Women only listen to certain men, you know? And they'll take advantage. They'll take advantage of a lot of men in their lives, you know? They'll take advantage of a lot of them. And you don't really want to put yourself in that position because it's just so draining. It's just a life sucking, you know, position to be in. You know, she should be sucking something else. She should be sucking something else, but she ain't. You know, you always gotta look at it like this. Is the point. It's self respect. All it is just self respect. It's like how is this helping me in my life? How is this helping me progress to the next stage? You know, a lot of times you can't even progress to the next stage because you still have those friendships because you're still letting yourself be stuck in those positions and you're not letting yourself level up and be more level headed, be more next level, you know? So you're like, you just got to cut them off. You got to cut off those friendships, you know, those female friendships that are not providing you value, you know, and the ones that are taking value from you. You just got to cut them off. Cut them off. Call them right now. Call all your female friends right now. Call them up. Be like, well, the ones that are taking value. Call all your female friends, the ones that are taking value from you, the ones that are freaking stepping on you, the ones that are just leeching, you know, like sucking your energy, not sucking your dick. Call them right now. Be like, hey, suck my dick or I'm leaving. Suck my dick or I'm leaving. You know, this is extreme. I'm playing. Well, just cut them off. You just gotta cut them off, like this video.